Now on KOAM News at 10, daily COVID-19 deaths spike once again across the U.S., hitting numbers not seen since March.
Semiconductor shortage for new vehicles could last until 2023. I'm Zach Dodge with how that could impact dealerships and customers alike.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The CDC says there have been more than 40 million confirmed coronavirus cases in the U.S. since the pandemic began, along with over 651,000 deaths. This is KOAM News at 10. Now, both numbers have risen steadily in recent weeks. Reporter Skylar Henry has the story from Washington.
As Americans gather to celebrate Labor Day, officials brace for another possible COVID-19 surge.
It troubles me that we somehow have decided this is over and the Delta variant now is surging across America.
Despite the rise in cases, airports were still busy this holiday weekend.
Kind of made our plans to where we were pretty much not going to be in big crowds and social distance pretty good.
From coast to coast, fans packed stadiums as the college football season got underway. More than 70,000 saw Notre Dame beat Florida State in Tallahassee on Sunday. A day earlier, a similar-sized crowd was on hand as UCLA defeated LSU in Pasadena. Experts say infections have tended to rise after major holidays.
The good news is that we're not seeing a lot of breakthrough hospitalizations or deaths, but we are seeing breakthrough cases and breakthrough long COVID.
The U.S. is now averaging more than 150,000 new COVID-19 cases a day. That's the highest it's been since its peak in January. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Now, since Labor Day last year, infections in the U.S. are up 316%. A beautiful Labor Day across the area, and it looks like it's going to stay that way for a little bit. Nick Kelly joins us.
Certainly was nice, Chris, to wrap up the holiday weekend on such a nice note. It took us a while to get there because we had to start the weekend out, if you remember, with some rain and thunderstorm action, but nothing but dry air and quiet skies today, sending us from 59, a chilly start this morning, right back up to 91 degrees this afternoon. There's still a completely clear scan on the radar network, not to mention we'll see clear skies up top. Good idea of how we'll stay for the rest of the night. As far as temperatures go, we're seeing more lower 70s popping up in southwestern Missouri, but everyone else mainly in the lower to middle 70s at this point in time. A little cloud cover might try to roll in overnight, but it's mainly thin, high cloud cover. We'll still say mostly clear as lows drop to 67. I think much of the day tomorrow is going to be dry. We'll have highs back around 91, though, before our next front tries to bring some possible rain chances our way. We'll break that down in the rest of the forecast here in a bit, Chris.
All right, Nick, thank you. Labor Day weekend is normally a big sales weekend for car dealers, but not this year, because it could be more than a year before prices and supply in the automotive industry start to look more like they did pre-pandemic. And those high prices are impacting everywhere, including right here in the 4 states. KOAM's Zach Dodge has why one dealer thinks prices could go higher, specifically in the coming months.
Cody Jackson has become like an encyclopedia for trucks.
You got the nice bow surround memory seat.
At least when they're on the lot anyway.
I wouldn't give this one probably 7 more days and this one will probably be gone.
And that's without big rebates like many vehicles would have on Labor Day.
The manufacturers don't have to put those big rebates on them right now because the inventory is so slim.
Skyway Buick GMC in Joplin only has 9 new vehicles on the lot right now as parts shortages for new cars continues driving up prices. And experts say those shortages could continue until 2023 as manufacturers like General Motors temporarily shut down production because of the semiconductor shortage.
I ordered one not too long ago and we're supposed to have it in beginning of August and it came in around the end. And the customer was just a little frustrated at us and there was just nothing we could do.
The new vehicles that do hit the lot, well, they're still selling and for more money.
I never see lots completely full of new cars again because they make more money with less cars on the ground.
And in the coming months, Star anticipates that used car prices could continue to go up with inventory going down after hundreds of cars are destroyed by Hurricane Ida.
There's rental companies that puts a lot of cars out on the streets. Say our guy that we buy from is out of Springfield. They're not going to have any. They're going to ship them all to Louisiana. Prices are going to go out to the roof and they're going to be slimmer than they have been.
So what can you do if you need to buy a vehicle? Star says watch for added charges on the window sticker And don't get wheeled and dealed into buying a car that's over MSRP.
Yeah, you're paying more for your car right now, the market's up, but who knows the future? This could be the future.
In Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
According to Black Book, used vehicle prices on average have climbed 30% in the past year. A Southeast Kansas town is celebrating a long-standing tradition. Uniontown held their annual Old Settlers Picnic. The day kicked off with a parade featuring area businesses, schools, and first responders. Later, they held a picnic that supported the local schools. One attendee says this traditional event is extremely important to the town's history.
Think of Labor Day, we just think of Old Settlers Day at Uniontown, and it's just a tradition. It's just something we do, like Christmas, you get together and in some certain location, and Labor Day, we just come here, and it's just good.
This was the picnic's 115th year. Well, coming up, as airlines see an increase in in-flight incidents, some flight attendants are taking self-defense courses. Plus, Louisiana officials investigate a warehouse used to shelter nursing home patients during Hurricane Ida. Flight attendants are again turning to self-defense classes to deal with the increasingly unfriendly skies. The FAA reports air travel has become so disruptive this year that it's levied more than $1 million in fines on dozens of unruly passengers. These levels of disruption are unheard of in commercial aviation, and now a rising number of airline employees are enrolling in special training. Reporter Errol Barnett has more.
Boom, boom. It is no wonder why federal marshals are guiding flight crew on how to hit back.
It's getting crazy out there lately.
Sit down and remain calm. This year it's truly been chaos in the cabin. Fists flying on this American Airlines plane last month. A Southwest flight attendant knocked bloody by a passenger in May. And people being restrained to their seats, including this man on Frontier Airlines. After being accused of groping two of the flight crew, he was wrapped with tape all the way up to his mouth. He was eventually charged with battery.
I would hire all three of those ladies to be federal air marshals today if they were interested. That's how much I think they're seriously taking the class.
Stephanie Metzger manages the Air Marshal's New York field office and says this post-9/11 program had been on hiatus during the pandemic. In July, it returned with a renewed sense of urgency.
We've had great demand since we reintroduced the classes.
The FAA announced recently that with more than $500,000 in new fines to dozens of unruly passengers, it has exceeded $1 million in financial punishments for the year. The largest, a $45,000 fine for a JetBlue passenger who allegedly threw his luggage, got on the floor, and put his head up a flight attendant's skirt. The president of the Flight Attendants Union continues to push for jail time.
What we need to do is we need to have the DOJ also criminally prosecuting and using the penalties that are there under the law already, up to 20 years in prison for any one of these incidents.
The palm strike is certainly something that we're taught during basic training. I mean, we're also taught the elbow one.
In almost a decade on the flight deck, Judith, who declined to provide her last name, says she's never had to get physical with a passenger, but says if she has to, now she's ready.
I don't know what that's called, but like you grab their hand and then you can roll them onto the ground. I thought that was really useful. It was really surprisingly fun.
Errol Barnett, CBS News.
Most of the arguments and fights are over wearing masks, and as you might expect, intoxicated passengers are frequently involved. These trainings are also about building confidence so flight attendants can handle just about anything. And to put things into perspective, in 2019, there were 146 unruly passenger violations. This year, we're up to more than 4,000 reports so far. Well, KRAFT HEINZ is charged with cooking its books. The Securities and Exchange Commission accused the company of engaging in accounting misconduct from 2015 through 2018. Among the allegations, the company maintained false supplier contracts and logged unearned supplier discounts, making it look like the company achieved cost savings. KRAFT has agreed to pay a $62 million fine, but did not admit or deny the findings. An investigation is underway into conditions at a Louisiana warehouse where hundreds of nursing home residents rode out Hurricane Ida. Officials say conditions were unsafe and ordered 7 senior living facilities that sent patients there to close. Reporter Jesse Mitchell has more.
They were hungry, they were thirsty, they was crying for, out, they was in pain. It was just very sad.
Nurse Natalie Henderson rode out the hurricane inside a warehouse here in Independence, Louisiana, where hundreds of nursing home residents were packed in just before Ida hit. These images show patients on mattresses on the floor with no social distancing. Health officials were told the residents were not being fed or changed. 5 of the 7 deaths here were storm-related.
The whole place is reeking of urine and feces. On top of them trying to eat, they begging for water.
The owner of the 7 nursing homes behind the move tried to downplay the tragedy last week.
We only had 5 deaths within the 6 days, normally with 850 people you'll have a couple a day. So we did really good on taking care of people.
Why would you say that? There shouldn't be no deaths at all. At all. It's just heartbreaking.
Some residents in some of the hardest hit Louisiana towns have given up. Facing sweltering heat, gas, and food shortages, they're leaving the state until the power returns.
Any place the Lord blesses us to go out of this heat, where we're able to get some food, get a hot bath, and, and just some comfort.
Meanwhile, Henderson says after speaking out, she's been told she'll never be hired back if the nursing homes reopen. But she hopes doing so will ensure nothing like what she witnessed will ever happen again.
These are people's lives. They are not animals or dogs. They are human beings and they deserve good treatment.
The Louisiana Department of Health reports trying to gain access to inspect this facility, but they were denied entry. CBS News has reached out to the nursing home owner, Bob Dean Jr., for a comment. He has not responded to our request. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, Independence, Louisiana.
Later, an area alpaca farm giving kids a chance to learn more about the fluffy creatures.
But first, I have a hot Tuesday lined up, unfortunately, but maybe a chance for thunderstorms tomorrow evening. Forecast next. After we had to start this holiday weekend out with scattered rain and thunderstorm chances Friday and Saturday, we finally cleared that mess out for Sunday, and we were left with a nice looking Labor Day. Nothing but blue skies from start to finish from our time lapse of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort outside of Seneca, Missouri. In fact, all of the area saw pretty nice looking skies throughout the rest of the day. As far as temperatures go, the dry air that filtered in behind the rain and storms really painted an interesting picture as far as temperatures go. Mid-80s yesterday afternoon. We dropped back into the upper 50s and lower 60s. Kind of a chilly start this morning before that same setup catapulted us back into the lower 90s, especially at Joplin Regional today, officially topping out at 91. It's nice to change the pace, though, to see the Skywatch Storm Tracker. It's working, but we have absolutely nothing to track as we continue deep into the night. And once again, nice to see an all-clear scan on the radar network, but it might get a bit of a workout by this time tomorrow night. We'll explain why in a moment. But 7th and range line, looking good still. 72 in Joplin. Dew point is 62. It's keeping the humidity at 71%, so it is climbing like it usually does during the night, but it's not too terribly high. Still feels good outside. Lower 70s in our northern and eastern parts of the area, while everyone else is sitting still in the mid 70s, but everyone's still set to drop back into the middle to upper 60s tonight while we continue with mostly clear skies here. Still locked in for tonight because of high pressure. Even though it's working over the Missouri Boot Heel into the Tennessee Valley, it's still strong enough to keep us quiet for the night and to at least start off tomorrow. Then our focus will be on this cold front working out of the northern plains. Not to mention upstairs, this upper level wave. It's going to mainly stay to the north, but some energy from that's going to ride along the northwest flow of the jet. Both the front and that energy upstairs is going to try to bring some isolated, if not scattered storm chances our way by the time we head certainly into tomorrow evening. The future track, it's got kind of the right idea for the rest of the night. I think it's overdoing cloud cover a bit, and A little bit warm with temperatures, but we will keep things dry. Overnight lows, though, will drop back into the mid to upper 60s. Most spots around 67. I think it's bang on, though, with how the afternoon is going to unfold. Mostly sunny skies to start the afternoon. We'll easily head back into the lower 90s before we see that northwest arrows coming off the Kansas Turnpike. That's our cold front, and you can see it wanting to fire off maybe an isolated storm or two late in the afternoon. Before any storms can get going, though, we'll all start at 67 in the morning, 85 by noon, afternoon highs right around 91. I think our best shot for any isolated scattered storms with this front passing through tomorrow evening is that time, during the evening, up until about 11 o'clock. Strong storms maybe, but not looking at anything severe. Mainly wind, minor wind gusts, and heavy rainfall. Then we clear out and really cool down for Wednesday morning with lower 60s, and then we'll head back into the lower 80s come Wednesday afternoon. In fact, Thursday we'll keep highs in the 80s. Then we'll watch for maybe a weak wave Saturday and a weak wave on Monday as that upper level ridge tries to build back in. Before we see the heat kick back in for the weekend, though, we'll go to 91 tomorrow, 83 Wednesday, potentially there to 58 for Thursday morning before we catapult back to 85. But once we hit the weekend, Chris, rain or shine, we will have highs going back into the lower to middle 90s.
Catapult sounds about right with some of those temperature changes, but it's still pleasant out.
Yeah, with all this dry air in place, chilly, nice, but quick warm-ups throughout the day, but still feels pretty good.
We'll take it. Nick, thank you so much. Danny Terzer joining us with sports, and due to some of the weather we did see earlier, some high school football teams still haven't completed the first game of the season.
Yeah, the weather did shake things up. Uniontown and Southeast resumed play today, so we'll have those highlights. Plus, we'll take you to Anderson County and Parsons game, where the Vikings aim to get a win at home in their opener. A rare treat, we've got Monday Night Football. Due to the weather on Friday, 2 of our local games were rescheduled to play tonight. In the Three Rivers League, Uniontown and Southeast resume play. The Lancers led 16-7. Tonight, ball gets loose here. Damian Woods collapses on it for the turnover. And Woods does it again. 2 fumble recoveries tonight for the senior. And then look at this play here. Andrew Buckman going deep, but Cade Burdett jumps up and bats it down. Then with just seconds left in the game, Cash Windsor muscles his way into the end zone for the score. Southeast gets the victory at home 22-7. A good start to the season. Anderson County and Parsons are also finishing out their contest. Parsons jumped out to a 7-0 lead in the first quarter on Friday. Today, quick start for the Vikings. Deion Sylvester takes the handoff, jukes a few defenders, and finds the end zone for the score. Parsons up 13-0. In the second, Trey Mack's throw is tipped. Fisher Gailey comes down with it. He's got a clear shot, and he'll go all the way. Pick 6 for the Bulldogs. The Vikings offense slows down, but the defense, smothering Anderson County. Hunter Brownwell gets the sack, and then good coverage here. Anderson County turns it over on downs their last 2 drives of the game, including this one. The early points proved to be enough for Parsons. The Vikings win 13-6. PSU sophomore quarterback Max Sexton is named the MIAA Offensive Player of the Week. Pittsburgh State took down number 13 ranked Central Missouri 35-16 on Thursday. Sexton accounted for all 5 touchdowns in the Gorillas' win. He threw for 4 and ran in himself once more. Sexton finished with 232 passing yards. It was just his 6th career start. In the major leagues, the Royals out in Baltimore this week for a series against the Orioles. Looking to get back-to-back wins here, Royals trailing 2-1 late in the game. Salvador Perez sparks the comeback, pops it up. Orioles swarm, but the ball drops. Whit Merrifield scores to tie it. Love this Salvi reaction. He's not sorry. Then Andrew Benintendi gets it through. Perez scores from first. Benintendi coming up big on defense now. He makes the grab over the wall. Royals open the series with a 3-2 win. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
We take time now to honor a local veteran. Merle Robinson served in the U.S. Army from 1941 to 45. The Columbus, Kansas native was stationed in the Pacific. We salute Master Sergeant Merle Robinson, 4-state hero. Learn more about other heroes or to submit one of your own at any time, just head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We promised this to you earlier, and I kind of skipped over it, but it's still important. Some area kids and their families spent Labor Day getting an up-close look at some fluffy alpacas. The Magajupa Mine Alpaca Farm hosted an open house where families could come pet and feed the animals and take selfies with them. People also had the chance to learn about the process of making products out of alpaca fleece and how to take care of them, including what they like to eat.
He like missing hay. He like hay.
I actually saw their post on Facebook, and we had never been here, and I have been wanting to come forever, and we finally had a chance to come. Yeah.
This part's very important because Danny didn't know it really existed. The Alpaca Farm is located at 7548 East 20th Street in Joplin. Well, Bansky's famous shredded painting is going on sale again, and it may have increased in value by a factor of 6 times. 3 years ago, a Bansky painting named Girl with the Balloon shocked onlookers after partially shredding itself just moments after it sold for $1.4 million. Now renamed Love is in the Bin, the owner is putting the partially shredded painting up for sale again next month. Sotheby's believes it could fetch $8.3 million in its next auction. And so if you don't buy the painting, you can buy Danny an alpaca and help her take care of it.
I didn't say I wanted to own an alpaca.
Well, you seem very enthralled by alpacas.
I'll go look at them with a fence in front of us.
All right, fine. She doesn't want an alpaca, whatever. What we do want is this nice weather to stick around.
Yeah, we certainly do, though. So it'll certainly be nice for the rest of the night. Not as chilly, though, with lows around 67. We'll top back at 91 tomorrow. I think most of the day will be dry by tomorrow evening. We'll watch for a front of fire rush and thunderstorms that I'll keep an eye on.
Danny, quick check of sports.
Few football games. Southeast Lancers get the win at home. Parsons beats Anderson County.
All right, guys, thank you so much. That's our time for now. We're going to be back here tomorrow, and thanks for making us part of your night.